Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Gonna go ahead and get this Transformers The Last Night review out the way. Before I even begin, if you haven't had an opportunity to watch Transformers The Last Night, stop listening to major spoilers. Here we go. Number one thing I gotta say is I was so overwhelmed with joy when I saw Gemma Chan on the screen at the end. Okay, if you don't know who Gemma Chan is, you just haven't been watching any of the tweets that I was sending out. You haven't been seeing any of the pictures that I usually post up on Instagram. There's a show called Humans that was on television, and there was this robot named Mia/Anita, and she's so powerful in her delivery of this. It just blew me away. Okay, so that was the first introduction that I had with Gemma Chan. And then when I got a chance to watch Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, she showed up on screen again. And this is the third time. And I said to myself when I was watching Humans, I said, once someone sees her in her acting capability, it's going to explode, man. The doors are going to open up wide for her. And then after that, it's to new heights, man. What I would love to see, since she was inside of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, is that, with the DCEU, that they grab her and let her, become someone, some character inside of the extended universe, to where she's able to, just succeed in that aspect, man. So yeah, just blown away by that, man. But she plays this robot on Cybertron named Quintessa. And Quintessa wants to recreate Cybertron. And before I even go on any further, let me just say this. If you're a Generation 1 fan of Transformers, okay, this movie is probably not for you, but it is for you, okay? This is the first time that we get to see Optimus Prime in a different role, in the role of a bad guy, in the role of a straight-up badass, okay? Bumblebee is finally pushed to the side, and we get to see Optimus Prime be the leader that he is, to be Optimus Prime, okay? Now, there's no spoilers when I talk about Nemesis Prime. There's no spoilers at all, because we knew that was going to be Nemesis Prime when we saw the different colored eyes of Optimus Prime, okay? So we knew that he was taken over by some sort of possession, whatever you want to call it. We knew that was Nemesis, okay? And he actually says it on the screen, and if you're listening to that, you know what I'm saying, in the theaters, everybody goes crazy. There's applauding, there's cheering. Some people were even screaming, you know what I'm saying, because they just didn't know how to react to that. There was probably about maybe 78 people in the theater with me. We're talking about Mississippi. There's not a lot of people in Mississippi that go and watch movies. So that was a big thing for me to see, a packed theater with, ages from all the way at 5 years old all the way up to 90. There was literally this dude, Old Man Rivers, was in there with a bag of popcorn, walking around. First off, we have numbered or reserved seats inside of Gulfport's Cinemark 16. There's a ticket that gets printed out, and it shows you the location of where you're sitting. And more importantly than that, when you get up to the actual box office, you're saying, hey, I want to watch Transformers at 3:35, and then they'll say, where would you like to sit? And you're the one that selects the location to where you want to sit. So yeah, so for me, I always pick Echo 9 or Delta 9, stuff like that. This guy chose his location, and then he got inside the theater and didn't want to sit in the seat that he chose. And then, for some reason, he sat in another couple's chair. And then the couple comes in there right before the movie starts, and they're like, you're in my seat. And he's like, oh, gosh. He said, can you imagine that? What are the odds of that I would sit down in this seat? It's already chosen by someone else. So anyway, man, everybody's laughing and stuff. Old Man Rivers, you get to see him, walk down there. He's 90 years old. He's a Transformers fan. Actually has a Transformers shirt on. He's not there with, his grandson or, his son, nothing like that. He's just there with him and one of his friends. So it's just two old guys, 90 years old, And literally, when I'm talking about 90, I'm talking about they were at least like 87 to 90 years old. They were old as I don't know what, man. But it was just good to see like a whole variety of ages, man. Like it didn't matter if you know started out in Generation 1, if you started out in comic books, if you started out, you know, with what is it? What is that one with the animals? Beast Wild or whatever? Transformers, Prime Beast or whatever the hell that show was called. It was ridiculous, man. They had like Transformers turning into animals, and I think it was called Beast Wars. Was it called Beast Wars? Yeah, I think it was Beast Wars. It was ridiculous. I stopped watching it after like 2 episodes. I was like, I'm out. It doesn't matter if you were in with the newly drawn one. You know, it's like for everybody, man. And I think that's the redemption factor for Michael Bay. You were able to see like he really tried. Okay, like this was the studio's attempt at trying to form and mold this brand new cinematic universe. I mean, they've been going 10 years strong. They don't get enough credit for having connected universes and you know, for, you know, just I guess staying in the game as long as Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Like they were there at the beginning of this, you know, everything's connected cinematic universe, whatever the hell you want to call it. But to see the big picture that they try to do, it really gets you excited, man. I'm not going to lie about that. So pretty much everything inside the trailers that were shown is everything that was in the movie. I mean, there wasn't any sort of surprises. The only thing that was the surprise was Gemma Chan. Like, they kept her hidden throughout the entire production, throughout the red carpet events. I didn't see her at all. And then she just pops up. And I'm like, this is crazy. Okay, and what that means is that when this next chapter happens, you know, she's going to be at the forefront now, and I'm really excited to see that. It's almost like the same way with Power Rangers with Rita. You know, you have this like really strong, you know, female actress, obviously actress, duh, but you have this female lead that can really like invoke, you know, emotions out of everyone that she's around. You know, the performances get better when she's around them, and that's what I'm looking forward to. All right, so back to my point. Generation 1, we saw the movie, you know, Transformers the movie, we had the TV show, and then we got the, you know, Transformers the movie, and, you know, they gave us this epic soundtrack, and, you know, pretty much just changed all of our lives with how just amazing and perfect this movie was. You know, no matter how many times you watch it, you learn something from this movie every single time, okay? The biggest thing that we learned was that there was this... What's the best way to describe it? There was this planet out in the universe, and this planet consumed other planets. And that planet was known as Unicron. Across the entire galaxy, the mention of this name, this Unicron, would strike fear into the hearts and minds of everyone around, okay? Whether you were a Decepticon, an Autobot, whatever. But if you were from Cybertron, you understood that whenever Unicron appeared, your entire world would end. Okay? This is death. This is destruction. This is the end times, okay? In this movie, in order to what's the best way to put it? I mean, it's hard. It's not hard to describe because the way that they did it was genius. But in order to allow the parents and allow the kids that didn't grow up with Generation 1, didn't grow up with Transformers the movie, didn't grow up with knowing how dope Optimus Prime is, that grew up with like little Bumblebee, in order for them to wrap their head and their minds around the idea of Unicron, they took the mythology and they flipped it. I mean, seriously, they flipped it completely. Not destroy. I'm not going to use the word destroy. They took it and they flipped it. They flipped it to where the generation that has been inside of this 10-year pop culture cinematic universe can like appreciate and understand what's going on, okay? They can relate to this Unicron a little bit easier, okay? It's not like... Listen, they weren't going to make the same mistake that Warner Brothers made with Green Lantern, and that is to have this entity come from space and attack Earth, and then, you know, just look crazy as shit on screen, okay? So what they did is they... I don't know how... What's the best way to put it? I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it, and then that's it. They took Unicron, and they made Unicron Earth. Unicron is Earth. Unicron is... He's always been here. It's always been here. We don't know if it's a he or she. It's... Unicron is Earth. Earth is Unicron. The reason why Transformers have always been here on Earth, have continued to come back year after year, century after century, is because Unicron is Earth. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny to where you're laughing like, yo, you can't take this serious. It's not like that. It's more as like it's like you're trying to take... It's not funny. It really is not funny. But, I mean, I'm trying to be serious. Okay, from a Generation 1 standpoint, Unicron is relatable because we care about the Earth. Okay, that's the best way to put it. The Earth, as we know it, as human beings, as we know it, it's dying, okay? In order for us to care about it... Hold on. In order for us to not want Earth to die, we have to care about Earth, okay? So we do care about Earth. Now we, as human beings, we care about Unicron. And so we're trying to... We're trying to hold off until the next movie comes out to watch and see what... I don't know how else to explain. This is bad. Let's start over. Okay, let's start over. Transformers the Last Night. It was good. It was a great experience for me. It was a really good experience for me. I had a blast watching it. Do I think that it's a movie that you'll rush out to go and buy, you know, the special edition, the collector's edition? Will you spend $99 or $150 to buy the entire complete collection? No, you won't. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to happen. But it will give you an appreciation for cinema and what Michael Bay has done. It's a movie experience. That's the best way to put it. It's a movie experience, and I had a blast watching it. There was a lot of people in the theater. And we all just, you know, left there like, you know, damn, you know, what is Gemma Chan? How is she going to appear in this movie? Is she human? Or is she still, you know, is she still Quintessa, man? Is she going to be in the Gemma Chan form? Or will she continue to be, like, I don't know, out in the desert, whatever, you know? It just blew my mind, man. Like it was a long, drawn-out story, but I think that they really captured everything that they wanted to do. I think that they touched on everything. This really does connect the universe, man. It really gets you out there, man. They have Cybertron, which has come over into Earth's galaxy. It's connected with Earth, and now we'll just have to wait to see what happens, okay? That's the best way. I mean, this is not like a convincing to me to convince you, you know, here on Translucent Origin to say, this is what I thought of the movie, this is why you should go see it. No. Make your own decision. But, I mean, I had a blast. I wish that the weather was a little bit better, that I could have actually went to go see it in IMAX, because... I think that would have been an experience in itself. It was the timing, man. The timing sucks with Tropical Storm Sydney. You know, this bitch is out here and she's wreaking havoc across, you know, Gulf Coast, man. And that's just the situation that we're in right now. But that's okay. Let me talk about some of the performances. We got to start right from I think the best performance, and that would obviously be Anthony Hopkins. I think that he just... This is probably one of his best performances, man, you know? And let me explain to this. Let me explain it. Hold on. Alright, so... Anthony Hopkins, who is known for just masterpiece after masterpiece, brilliant performance after brilliant performance. He actually does comedy inside of Transformers The Last Knight. And it's for like the first time that, for me at least, I'm not fearful of Anthony Hopkins. I enjoy, you know, seeing him. And like, usually when Anthony Hopkins dies, you know what I'm saying, you're like, damn, I can't believe he died. But you're also like, that's what he deserved because he's so bad. You know what I'm saying? He's such a powerful force on the big screen. You know, whenever you watch him in any one of his characters, his performance is just legendary. And in this one, you know what I'm saying, like, you got to this point where you like really connected with him, and then all of a sudden, like, they murdered him. Like, it was done. He plays the character Sir Edmund Burton, and he's connected to Sam Witwicky, all the Witwickies. He's connected to Merlin, and the list goes on and on. I don't really want to ruin too much of it, but he's connected throughout history, his family line, through generation after generation, and that was how, you know, I think it's because the historic aspect of it is that I enjoyed it so much. That's the reason why I enjoyed it so much, is that to see Anthony Hopkins, in knowing that, you know, his age, and knowing that he's been through all these different, you know, historical time periods and frames, that, you know, he brought something else to it, to Transformers, to the universe, man. Mark Wahlberg, man, he did the best that he could. You know, Yeager's just a terrible character. Just a terrible character for a franchise, but, you know, Mark Wahlberg did the best that he could. But having those two interact on screen, even though it was like a little limited time, it was pretty cool, man, to see that happen. It was just funny, man. You know, moments where you just laugh out loud and you're just like, dude, that was awesome. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next, man. His character, you know, Anthony Hopkins' character is dead. Mark Wahlberg's character survives. Also, Lennox survives. And there's a couple of other ones. Let's talk about the kids for a second. During the previews of this, you know, Transformers The Last Knight, they kind of sold the movie as a kids movie. Like, they sold it as if like a new generation of kids would be inspired by this franchise, and that the franchise is no longer for like old, you know, Generation 1 Transformers fans. But in actuality, it wasn't even like that. Like, the kids weren't even in the movie. Like, probably like maybe 4 minutes or 5 minutes out the movie, and that was it. And then they just disappear, and that's it. Like, you don't hear from them again. You know. Let me pause for 1 second and talk about this for a second. Isabella with a Z. Okay. This was borderline pedophilia. Okay. And I don't know if it's just Michael Bay. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, you know what? Let's not bullshit, okay? It was Michael Bay. It is Michael Bay. Michael Bay has this I don't know what it is. It's like this desire to take the idea of, in the concept and notion of like a powerful woman, or even woman just in general, and like morph it and turn it into like this sexualized, over-sexualized, hyper-sexualized, just terrible like softcore porn shit, man. And that's what he ends up doing inside of this Transformers Last Knight. It's like, what? Why are we going that route with this girl who in the movie she says she's 14 years old? And it's like the same way that he did inside of the first Transformers, you know, movie. You're like, dude, why is this necessary? You know what I'm saying? It's not to that extreme as 2009, but, you know, we're almost 10 years later, you know what I'm saying, since, you know, he did, you know, the whole situation with Megan Fox, man, and just barned the hell out of her, you know what I'm saying? That was That was crazy. But he does the same exact thing with Isabella with a Z, man. And it was weird, man. Weird, weird, weird. Another thing, we have a new like female, and I think her name is Laura Hadcock, who plays Vivian Wembley, and just a strange looking person. You know what I'm saying? Just really, really strange. But I mean, I think that having her team up with Mark Wahlberg, it made Yeager a little bit more. I don't know. How do you could like less annoying. There you go. You know what I'm saying? You could put up with Yeager on the screen for just a little bit longer with her on screen. You know what I'm saying? Because she kind of brought a little bit of sophistication. There was a couple times where she told him to shut up and stop talking. I love that because I was like, I can't stand this dude on the screen. He's just terrible. I think the most biggest aspect of the movie that was missing was probably Tyrese. I don't know why they didn't bring him back. And I didn't watch the other movie close enough to see if that character had died off or what they did. They didn't explain anything. They explained as far as Yeager's family. The only explanation was that Yeager's daughter, who we know from Bates Motel, is off in college, and the only time they can call her is just every once in a while, every blue moon. They can only talk for 20 seconds, and that's how they covered that. I really, really enjoyed the moment where they connected the universe back with the original movie back in 2009 with Shia LaBeouf and Sam Witwicky. I'm not going to spoil that, how they did that. I will say that if you are a fan of the franchise and you're sitting there thinking to yourself like, dude, this is pretty dope. Like how can we go back, to the original, to the original movie and try to connect it. And for me, it was like, watching the movie in 2007, I thought it was like one of the best, movies, live action movies. I mean, it was the first time we got Transformers on the screen. You're sitting there thinking to yourself like, dude, this can't possibly work. And then they did. They did a really, really good job, you know what I'm saying? And then it kind of fell off, you know what I'm saying, with Transformers Revenge of the Fallen in 2009. And then after that, it just continued to just drop, after another, just continued to just drop, especially with Age of Extinction and Dark of the Moon. Those were just terrible, terrible movies, just thrown together, a shitstorm of just CGI. But when they showed the connection back to the original 2007 film Transformers, and you get to see Shia LaBeouf on screen, you're just like, this is pretty dope, and it should get you excited to see that, because it was just one of those moments where you're like, dude, this is how it's all connected. It goes back to the original, and hopefully one day they'll get Shia LaBeouf to return. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if his character changes so much. And even turns to a bad guy or something like that, maybe that'll get him to return, or maybe with this threat of Unicron arriving, or Cybertron, or however the hell they're going to explain it, maybe this will get everybody that's hiding to come out and come together and start fighting against this evil force, man. Let's talk about Optimus Prime for a second, man. Optimus Prime, he goes bad for probably about 6 minutes, and then let me say this. Let me pause for a second. Bumblebee has always been my least favorite character in this franchise. Okay, it came to the point where I just despised Bumblebee. I couldn't stand the Camaro. I couldn't stand Bumblebee. I didn't like the radio. I had turned it off for years, man. And then we get to this movie, okay, The Last Night, and for the first time in 10 years, Bumblebee is now one of my favorite characters, okay? And the reason why is because he actually is the reason why we got one of the best cinematic portrayals of Optimus Prime, ever, period. Since 2007, man, that was when you saw Optimus Prime and you saw him transforming for the first time, and you're sitting here, you're cheering, man. If you had popcorn in your lap, the popcorn fell on the ground, the fucking drink fell over, it fucking spilled on your balls. You're sitting there thinking to yourself like, dude, I'm not going to go and change. I'm going to sit through this, you know what I'm saying, because it's Optimus Prime. This is the same reason, man. Bumblebee, he talks, okay? Now listen, I know this is stupid. It sounds dumb, but it's really, really good. Bumblebee, you hear his voice for the first time, okay? The last time that Prime heard Bumblebee actually talk with his real voice was on Cybertron, okay? Once Cybertron fell, and they voyaged off to find a new home, Bumblebee, I guess, I don't know, used like that PTSD to kind of come up with like the use of the radio. And that's where we got, that stupid, annoying Bumblebee. But then you get to hear his voice, and that's the moment where Optimus Prime comes back to us as fans. And dude, I'm telling you, man, like, he's about to literally kill Bumblebee. Like, you already know the moment I'm talking about. It's inside the trailer. You know what I'm saying? You got Mark Wahlberg's character, Jaeger. He's like, Prime, no, stop. And then all of a sudden you see Prime come up with a knife, and he lays it down, and all of a sudden you hear Mark Wahlberg's character again. He's like, no! He screams out. He's like, no! And then it goes black. The screen goes black. Well, they show you what happens, man. Like, Prime comes down with a knife. It lays right next to Bumblebee's head. And that's the first time that Bumblebee talks. He's like, and I'm not even gonna try to. I'm not gonna try to make the voice, okay? Because I don't even know what it sounds like. But it sounds really good, really mature, okay? I'm actually really interested to see who actually voiced Bumblebee, because it's a real voice. It's just like with Optimus Prime and all the other characters. It's like real actors doing the voice. So he says to Prime, for you, Prime, I gladly lay down my life, for you. Like, I sacrifice myself for you because you are Optimus Prime, man. And, like, everything inside of me at that point, man, like, everything just, it, like, shut down. Like, emotionally, I'm breaking down, like tears are forming. And then all of a sudden, like, you look at Prime's face, and then, the purple, the Nemesis Prime eyes, they go off. And then all of a sudden, like, you see the blue Prime, Optimus Prime eyes, they light up, you know what I'm saying? They transform right on the screen, and you're sitting here like, this is it. This is the moment that I've been waiting for Michael Bay to do my entire life, okay? And then after that, Michael Bay takes it to the next level, and then Prime like shuts down. He shuts down emotionally too, because like he almost killed his best buddy, man. Like he almost killed. It's almost like, I guess you could say, he almost killed his son. And then at that point, Prime, he just breaks down. He's like, what have I done? Like this is not me. This is not who I am as a Prime. And then all of a sudden, like all the I guess you could call them like guardians, samurai, whatever the hell you want to call them, they start beating the shit out of Prime. And I mean, they're beating this dude. I'm sitting there yelling at the screen. I'm like, do something, like Prime, like somebody do something, because they're beating this dude, man. They're beating Prime so bad, man. Like I literally thought he was gonna die. And then, when you thought to yourself, like, dude, I'm done with this movie, okay? Like, Michael Bay, fuck you. You're terrible. You're ruining my childhood. All of a sudden, like, Michael Bay and the team, that Transformers team that got together and they created this universe, they rethought it and kind of planned it out. Mark Wahlberg's character, Jaeger, man, like, he becomes the hero. Like, listen to what I'm saying here. Listen to what I'm saying. At this point, the human, which always is the one which Prime is sacrificing himself for, sacrifices himself, okay? So now the human is now the Autobot. Did you see what I'm saying? And then after that, he takes off this sword and he defends Prime. Like, it is one of the dopest moments in, like, the history of cinema. I'm telling you, man. Like, you will stand up, you will start cheering, you will applaud, because at this moment you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, Mark Wahlberg is a really great actor, but in this universe, he's been terrible, okay? Because it's really hard to kind of like replace, what Shia LaBeouf was able to do, okay? And then he came in and he's just Mark Wahlberg pretending to be somebody, but he's still Mark Wahlberg. But this was the first time that you got to see Jaeger as an actual character, and then you didn't see Mark Wahlberg, man. It was so powerful. Like, you just know for like a little bit of time, you just know, like, the franchise is going to be in a good spot. Like, Michael Bay was not playing around, and Transformers is, like, here to stay, man. And then all of a sudden, like, Optimus Prime, he starts doing stuff that he's never done before. Dude, Optimus Prime can fly. Like, you know, remember when he just took off? He took off, he went into space, and you're like, yo, what are you doing? How did you, when did you learn that you can fly? The dude had an upgrade, and then all of a sudden he's flying. But now the dude, he flies. Optimus Prime is flying around the galaxy, man. He's flying around, he's doing fucking flips and cartwheels, and he's just kicking ass, man. But he takes flight for like, it's not like no reason, but it's like a badass reason. Just for like one of those moments where you're just like, dude, this is Optimus Prime. He's flying, and he's just kicking ass, man. So anyway, he takes his sword out, Optimus Prime. He starts like decapitating these dudes. There's so much, listen, there's so much blood. There's so much violence. There's so much death. And there's so much like adult language inside of this Transformers movie. Like, it's one of the best. I'm telling you, man. It beats out Wonder Woman. It beats out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It beats out Logan. It gets pretty close to beating out the Mummy. It gets really, really close to beating out the Mummy, but it doesn't. But it tops Kong. All the movies that I've seen so far in this year, man, 2017, I'm telling you, man, the experience inside the cinema with the fan reaction, everybody in the audience just going crazy. That was the best reaction I've ever seen. Even better than when Wonder Woman, you know, did her rage thing, where she just goes, I mean, just ape shit and starts killing people, slicing people down, man. There was nothing. Nobody stood up. Nobody clapped. You know, they were like, yeah, that was it. But when Optimus Prime started just going berserk on screen, everybody went apeshit. I'm serious. Everybody in the audience, little kids, you know, even Old Man Rivers that I was telling you from the beginning and stuff, man. It was crazy. It was that good, man. And I'm telling you, I can't believe it, man. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it, man. I don't know where they're going to go with the franchise from this, but I mean, obviously Unicron is here. Unicron is Earth. Earth is Unicron. I mean, we just have to just get over that. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. I think that's just to make... to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know. I don't know why they did that. But I know it's to make it more relatable because, you know, you're going to care about Earth. So therefore, you know, if Earth is destroyed and Unicron is created, then Earth gets destroyed. So, you know, you'll come back next year to watch to see what happens to Earth, and to see what happens with Unicron. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different, man. I don't know if we're gonna go to Cybertron to, you know, in like, I guess like animated, because I thought that's what they had decided to do. Is they said that with Transformers: The Last Night, it would be Michael Bay's last film, and then after that they would go to an animated Bumblebee movie, and then an animated Cybertron movie, and then after that back to live action. I don't know. I have no clue. But what I will say is that the IMAX 3D is probably your best bet as far as watching this experience. I watched it just in regular 3D. It was immersive, man. Like the last battle where you're like flying through Cybertron, flying into Unicron, doing all this crazy stuff, man. I've never seen anything like that happen on the screen. Way better than any. I'm serious, man. Listen to me. The only movie that it did not beat to me was Man of Steel, as far as like how much violence there was, man. Because I don't think you'll ever have as much destruction and violence on the screen that you had inside of Man of Steel. But I mean, they got so close to this, man. There was so much just death. I mean, like an entire city, like, so I think it was like Shanghai or China or Japan or even India was like destroyed. Like literally they took an entire planet and just set it down on this capital, and people were dead. You know what I'm saying? This is a Transformers movie. They were dead. They were dead. I mean, you'd expect that from like, you know, from like DCEU, man. You know what I'm saying? Warner Brothers, but you wouldn't expect that from like Transformers, man. It just surprised me. That's all. Whoever's gonna come after this, like as far as the enemy wise, it's gonna be kind of hard and tough to beat. Megatron. Megatron did a good. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that before I get out of here, because I'm getting tired. Megatron, we don't know how he came back. We don't know how he got that form. We don't know pretty much. We don't know anything, but they gave that Generation 1 moment where Megatron and Optimus Prime are fighting against each other, and you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, like, Optimus Prime might die. And that was one of the moments where I said, okay, they're really taking this franchise, you know, Michael Bay and the whole entire team, this Transformers writing team. They're taking the actual franchise and the material seriously for the first time since 2007. Okay, they're back to the basics of like, dude, this is a franchise about cars that talk. Okay, cars that have human emotions. Okay, it shouldn't work, but in this instant, and with the last night, it actually works, man, and it pays off. And I'm really happy, man. I'm gonna go watch it again as soon as the weather clears up here in Mississippi. I'm gonna go try to travel down to Louisiana to go to the IMAX. I'm probably gonna end up purchasing a few Transformers items. And I will be having a giveaway, man. I have Wonder Woman and a lot of stuff that I'll be giving away for that too. Obviously, you see Spider-Man. This is the Spider-Man popcorn bin, tin, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's for the Amazing Spider-Man that's coming out. A lot of different giveaways that will be coming on the channel. And, you know, I'm going to get back slowly into to making more videos. It's just been kind of... I've just been taking a break. That's all, man. But, yeah, this is definitely... motivated me to get back and review a little bit more films and stuff, and I had a blast, man. Once again, man, Transformers The Last Night, 10 out of 10 stars. Nothing, I'm telling you, man, there's no better experience in the cinema than this movie, man. Don't listen to the critics, don't listen to anybody. That's the same thing with like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It was really good. Wonder Woman was really good. Logan was really good. Kong was really good. There was another movie that like the critics like shit all over, and it was really good. But I don't know. I have to go and look at that and look at my ticket stubs. But yeah, just go have a fun evening or a fun morning or afternoon, whatever. Just go see the movie and then take it in for yourself. But for a Generation 1 fan, I was really happy. I thought that they just represented Optimus Prime for the first time since 2007. Perfectly, man. Like, he's a hero again. He's at the forefront. He's actually leading the Autobots, man. And then let me tell you this last one, and that's it. I'm out of here. When you think that Optimus Prime is dead, there's this moment where I thought like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, I thought everybody in the whole entire movie was dead. And then all of a sudden, man, like Michael Bay, how genius this dude is, man. He pans the camera back, man, starts, you know, just coming back, and then all of a sudden, like, the clouds and all this debris is out there. And then out of nowhere, Optimus Prime comes out of the freaking dust, the dirt. He comes out, he's coming towards the screen, and he's actually, like, transformed into his form, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, dude, that's a semi-truck. Like, yo, that's him. And like, the chrome, the colors... everything was just like brand new. It was like his rims were brand new. The colors were brand new. He has flames on him now. It's like it's the craziest paint job you've ever seen, man. And like I was waiting for that the whole entire time because like Hot Rod is in there, Bumblebee, a whole bunch of other Transformers that you're not even gonna you know, you're gonna forget the rest of them. But Hot Rod, Bumblebee, those are the ones that kind of like take the show for a little bit. And then you're sitting there like, yo, where's Optimus Prime? When is he gonna transform? And you know, you get to see him roll out. Then all of a sudden, like, that's one of the last shots, man. Transformers, boom. Optimus Prime, he's like, roll out. And all of a sudden, he's like, and you're just like, ah! And you go crazy because, like, that's it. That's the moment where you realize, like, yo, I'm a Transformers fan. This is what I waited for. You know, Optimus Prime is back. He's no longer in space. You're not asking that question like, yo, where the hell did he go? You know where he went. You know he's back now. And now it's just gonna be nothing but just good times, man, on the big screen. So a lot of support, man, for this franchise going forward. I thought they did a lot of you know, heavy and deep thoughts inside of it. And I'm just seriously, man. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys, man. Round of applause for all of the writing team. Michael Bay, it's redemption for you. And here's my thing. It's not that I don't want to see Michael Bay return. But I think that he should leave the franchise with this last movie, and I think that everyone will be happy. And I think that it will actually like seal his legacy as far as, you know, directing these Transformers movies, because this one leaves you on a high note, man. And I'm just afraid that I'm not saying that he's gonna do it, but I'm afraid that if he doesn't leave now, he's gonna ruin that momentum, and then after that, we're just gonna shit all over him again. All right, so. Michael Bay, just go away, okay? You did good. I'm happy with you. I forgive you for everything. And here's the reason. Let me go back real quick. And this is it. I'm gonna take about 30 seconds and I'm leaving. The reason why I was upset at Michael Bay for all these years. All right, and I'm not gonna ruin it, okay? Just in case there's somebody out there that's listening that hasn't watched the movie. Optimus Prime, he died in this I guess you could say this franchise, okay? And Michael Bay had this scene where like he's carrying Optimus Prime back, like they're carrying the dead body, the corpse, and they just so disrespectfully drop Optimus Prime on the pavement on this tarmac. They just drop his body, and then after that they cut to the next scene. Like the body drops. I think it's like 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds, and then they cut to the scene. It's a different scene, and like everybody's forgotten that Optimus freaking Prime just died. And that's what blew me up, man. That's what like really just got me to the point where I couldn't stand even the mentioning of Michael Bay, his name. I wouldn't get to his movies, any of that stuff. And then all of a sudden, here's what happened. Pain and Gain came out, and I said to myself, okay, there's a little bit of redemption. And then now we have this movie, and it's like, okay, you're back to making movies, and you're back to actually caring about each scene. So you really took time, man, to like map it out, scene by scene, how you would shoot it, and then you delivered on that. So the execution was perfect, and then like all is forgiven, man. So seriously, man, salute to Michael Bay. Bravo, man. Round of applause, man, for Michael Bay. You know, you did a great job. And seriously, I can't wait to see what happens, man. I want to see, for the next movie, more Hot Rod, more Hot Rod, more Hot Rod, more freaking Hot Rod, okay? You cannot go into this next movie without more Hot Rod. And I also want to see, a little bit more of Bumblebee. Just not too much, but just a little bit. And they need to have more female Autobots. I don't know what happened to that to RC. I don't know where she went. I don't even know if she died. Now, if RC is dead, I'm gonna be devastated. Okay, so don't ruin that for me. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. Okay, don't put that in the comments or anything like that. If she's dead, that's gonna suck. But if she's alive, hopefully she comes back, and all the other Autobots. You know, it'll be interesting. And that's it, man. I think that's it, guys. Yeah, 10 out of 10 stars. Transformers last night, and yeah, we're out of here, man. That's it. Thanks again for watching, guys.